Welcome to a Tartan Zebra Creative Workshop. Today I'm going to teach you how to do a simple drawing technique that can be really effective to improve your artworks. So we're going to look at a technique of drawing what we call an ellipse, or ellipses is the plural. And an ellipse is an important skill if you're going to draw cylindrical or circular objects. So today you're going to need a ruler, a sharp pencil, sharpener for later, and a rubber. So let's get going. So firstly we need to think about circles. As you know, a circle is entirely symmetrical whichever way you cut through it. So it's the same both sides. Now the interesting thing about ellipses, it's a circle seen from the side. So as you tip that orange lid of the coffee pot, you can see the circle slowly becoming more oval and slimmer. So it loses its depth until when you see it entirely from the side, it disappears. So you just get a straight line. Okay, now at the bottom of a cylindrical shape, you get the same. As you see more and more of the curve of the bottom of the shape, you get the deeper ellipse until when you get to the top, it's entirely circular again. If you look at a cylindrical object like a toilet roll, you can see it even more clearly. So as I tip this toilet roll, you can see the circle get deeper. As I move away, it gets thinner. The same both sides, it doesn't matter which side you look at it, the same thing happens. So we're going to have a go today at trying to draw ellipses. Now it is a technical technique. You need to use the sense of a ruler. So I've made a straight line and then I'm drawing horizontal lines through that straight line that are 4 centimetres either side of the straight line, and I'm doing this 3 times, at the top, at the bottom and in the middle. So they're exactly the same. Now we're going to try and draw a cylinder, and we're going to measure the depth of the ellipse. So at the top, the ellipse is going to be quite shallow because we can't see into the cylinder so well at the top. So it's 1 centimetre deep, 1 centimetre away from that horizontal line. And then the middle one is going to be 2 centimetres deep, and the bottom one, further away from the eye line, I guess, is 3 centimetres deep. So we're going to practice drawing an ellipse. Now this is harder than it looks. You need to use a sketchy line, and avoiding pointy ends to your ellipses create an oval shape that is equal in all 4 quarters. And the same again, but each time the ellipse will get deeper and it will be slightly larger, obviously, in terms of its height. Now I seem to struggle a little bit on that bottom right hand corner as I drew it. Maybe it's because I'm left-handed. You might find the same, that as you draw, you're more confident with your line in certain quarters than in others. So just check that. I'm doing this quickly just to show you, and here we go again. Now we've got 3 ellipses. You can see now it almost looks like you're looking down on a cylinder, and if we join them up, you've definitely got that cylindrical effect like a toilet roll. Let's draw one that looks slightly more realistic. So we're going to now draw more like an artist would draw, so not measuring everything exactly. So if I was going to do a sketch, usually I might give a sense of a line, possibly not draw quite this dark if I was drawing a sketch, so that I could rub it out more easily. But I'm doing this dark so you can see. And then I'd probably just guesstimate the depth slightly. And there, look, I'm going to use my finger to actually guesstimate the depth because I'm doing it. Okay, so in I draw my ellipses. There's the top one. And the bottom one is slightly deeper to give the effect of looking down onto the base of the cylinder, so that it slightly grows towards the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to use my ruler to join up the edges. Okay, so there's my cylinder drawn in. Now I'd use my rubber now to rub out the guidelines that I've drawn, because I don't need those. My cylinder isn't transparent, So I rub those ones out and inside the hole at the top. Okay, so now we're going to add some shading. So I'm going to imagine the light is coming from the top right hand corner. And I'm going to think about now, slightly speeding up the video, you'll see, because the shading takes time, how I'm going to use tonal shading to imagine how this side of the cylinder would not be receiving so much light. So it's away from the sun. And slowly my tone will get lighter and lighter as I travel along the inside of the cylinder until it gets to the other side where it would be getting the light from that direction. And a bit like you can see in that cylinder, it's a bit like the idea that you could put your pencil inside. Now, on the rest of the cylinder, it will be the exact opposite, because the light will not be hitting the outside of the cylinder on the left-hand side. So here I am, tonally shading it in, slowly fading my tonal shading from dark to light as I travel around the cylinder. It takes a bit of time. And hopefully what we'll get at the end is quite a believable cylinder that you could think might actually be a vase or a very simple container. And this technique can be used for drawing anything cylindrical, a bottle, even a skyscraper that's cylindrical. It doesn't really matter what it is, big or small, it's the same technique. Now you might feel after doing this quite confident with drawing one that is vertically upright. I just want to show you a little bit also how you can draw one in exactly the same way but on a slant. As long as your ellipses are at right angles to your main symmetrical line, then you can't go wrong. So I'm using exactly the same technique but on a tilt, and then rubbing out and also considering some shading. So it should work in exactly the same way. So don't be put off if you want to draw something that isn't completely straight. It will still work in the same way. So I hope you feel you've got some instructions now that you can go away and work with and have a go at using ellipses to draw circles from the side or cylindrical objects. Enjoy!